Uncle Jed, are you going to let Ellie keep that beaver?
Why?
Because that rascal took all of my firewood and built a dam across the cement pond.
Well, Fred, that's the nature of the critter.
But Granny wanted me to start a fire under her kettle out back so she could cook applesauce. But now the firewood's wet.
Kind of think Granny's changed her mind. I just seen her coming out of her room and she was all gussied up to her fairly well.
Bet she's fixing to see Mr. Farquhar.
She has kind of perked up since he come to town.
Jethro, did you get the fire going under my applesauce kettle?
No, ma'am.
Well, get out and get at it.
But Granny, the wood's wet.
We'll build a fire and dry it out.
Hey, that's a good idea. Thank you.
I declare, Jed, that boy.
Hey, Granny, if the wood's wet, how can I start a...
Granny, you're mighty fancied up for applesauce making, ain't you?
Well, a smell of it cooking generally brings a neighbor or two.
Like Mr. Farquhar?
Who?
Mr. I.J. Paul.
Oh, the old gentleman from Boston. Is he still visiting next door?
I reckon he is, seeing as how we only got here yesterday.
Warm up your coffee.
Thank you. He seems to be a gentleman of high quality.
Who's that?
Mr. Farquhar?
You still talking about him?
I was, but I can change the subject. I see by the news that we're having an unusual warm spell. But the man says it might last through the week.
I hear he's a widower.
Who's that?
Hello. Mr. Farquhar, whatever his name is.
That's it. Low Redlings Farquhar. It's a grand name, isn't it?
I suppose so. So we're in for a warm spell, are we?
That's what the weatherman says. Matter of fact, Ellie Mae's in swimming.
I bet he ain't used to it being so warm.
Mr. Farquhar?
Now there you go again. Just can't stay on one subject, can you?
Well, Milburn, how would you like to invest some money?
In what?
I have a little property up in Las Vegas.
You have property in Las Vegas?
Yes, the one of the hotels there is holding my suitcase.
Forget it. Now look, you stay away from Las Vegas. They'll only take you to the cleaners again.
Ah, no, not this time. I've worked out a system. All I need is financing, and I'll make a killing.
Leaving so soon, Milburn?
Yes, I have to get into the office.
I'll be down to see you later, Milburn. We'll discuss a little financial business.
Oh, Milburn, what an honor. Daddy very seldom lowers himself to discuss money. You should be deeply touched.
I'm sure I will be.
Daddy, it's so kind of you to let Milburn's bank handle your transactions.
Well, if I'm going to give someone the business, it might as well be Milburn. Margaret, what is it? Do you smell smoke?
Yes. Oh, it's those dreadful planters. They've built a fire outside the swimming pool again.
What for?
Oh, Daddy is always cooking some vile thing out there. Sorghum.
$50 million and she makes her own soap?
They don't spend their money. Have you noticed Ellie Mae?
Oh, yes.
Have you noticed how she runs around in those faded old blue jeans?
Yes. Tight, aren't they?
What?
Tight. No, as you say, they don't spend their money.
I'm going over there and demand that they extinguish that fire immediately.
No, Margaret, no. Too much of a lady. This calls for a man. I'll go over and speak with him.
That's brave of you, Daddy. But they're such boorish, illiterate people. I don't know how much of them you'll be able to take.
Well, you have my assurance, dear, that I'll take as much as I can. See you later.
Okay, you sure look pretty. Is that a new hat? Of course not. This is the hat I wore when your grandpa proposed to me.
Hi, Mr. Farquhar. Hello, Jethro. Well, good morning, beautiful. How's the water?
It'll be boiling in a minute now. But don't be so bold. There's a young one right there in the pond.
Oh, yes. Good morning, Ellie Mae.
Good morning, Mr. Farquhar. Ain't Granny pretty? Now, Ellie Mae, you stop that. Well, you are, Granny. Well, if Mr. Farquhar thinks I'm pretty, he'll say so himself.
Huh? Oh, you are. I certainly can see where Ellie Mae gets her good looks.
You can?
Yes, she's probably one of the most beautiful young ladies I've ever seen.
Thank you.
And that figure.
Now, Mr. Farquhar, you stop that. You'll have me blushing.
Oh, yes.
Now, you run along and get into some clothes.
Yes, Granny. See you later, Mr. Farquhar.
Definitely.
Back home in the hills, if a man was to see a girl dressed like that, he'd have to marry her.
That's a fine custom.
I'm glad you think the way we do.
Yes, I do. Oh, Granny, could I talk with you a moment?
Why, yes. Sit down.
Thank you. Granny, I know that you have a lot of money, but are you having any fun with it? I mean, are you happy?
Well, I could be happier. What you got on your mind?
It seems to me that you and I could have a lot of fun. And at our ages, we should take our fun where we find it.
You slobbered a bit full there, Lo.
What was that?
What were you saying?
Well, if you are willing to take a chance, Granny, it seems to me that...
Daddy!
I'm out up here, daughter. We'll continue this later on in the day.
I see the fire is out.
Just till later in the day.
I warn you, not the fire, Farquhar. Come, Daddy.
Oh, Margaret, I really don't want to go.
Come, Daddy. I marry that man, our daughter's gonna get the paddling of her life. How long you aim to sit here with this gun?
I don't know why.
Well, if somebody was to come calling, you might scare him off. Especially an elderly city fella that's not used to our ways. Somebody in the neighborhood just visiting from out of town.
You mean like Mr. Farquhar?
Now, what made you think of him?
Just a wild guess.
Granny, I finally got the kindling wood for you. Remember that cider keg I had down the cellar?
Why, there was a good 5 gallons of cider left in that keg.
I know. It took me so long. It'll all go to waste. Yes, ma'am?
Put that keg back together again.
Well, what about the applesauce fire?
Ain't gonna make no applesauce. Now, do as I tell you.
Yes, ma'am.
Not in front of the door. Suppose company was to come.
Like Mr. Farquhar?
Now, who said anything about Mr. Farquhar?
Don't reckon you're all dressed up like that for the trash collector.
You got a big mouth, boy.
Why, thank you. You pretty near got to drink 5 gallons of cider out of a keg.
Hey, everybody, look at this. I done learned all harm to be a watchdog. Show 'em what you'll do if a stranger comes around.
What have I done to deserve this?
Shucks, Granny. Oh, Harm just wants to earn his keep.
So get him out of here.
Hear that, Harm? Go guard the place.
What's the use? Jim Stewart and his cavalry couldn't get through to me, let alone poor little Mr. Farquhar.
Mr. Farquhar?
I didn't say that. I was just using him as a for instance.
I think Mr. Farquhar's got a case on you, Granny.
Hey, Granny, you gonna marry up with him?
That's just so. She was sidling up to him like a bird to a honey tree.
Jed, do I have to sit here and listen to this?
Of course not. Now, young'uns, no more talk about Mr. For instance.
You don't think you're so smart. Well, I have news for you. Somebody's gonna be leaving home soon.
Granny, you ain't leaving home.
You bet I ain't. But you and these big-mouth young'uns is. And you can take that big mouth with you, too.
You get the feeling that Granny'd like us to make ourselves scarce?
I don't. She told me to fix this keg. I'm getting a feeling, Uncle Jim.
Let's take a drive into town.
Granny, when do you want us to come back?
I'll call you and let you know.
Well, how will you know where we are?
I'll ask you when I call.
Oh.
You go with me. You want to tangle with me? He's coming. Oh, I look awful. Land sakes, it's still got gravy in it. Why, Mr. Farquhar, what a surprise.
Oh, well, should I have phoned first?
Well, if I knowed you was coming, I'd have fixed up a bit.
Nonsense, you look fine.
Would you like some coffee?
Do you have any tea?
Any kind you can say. Sassafras, horse mint, alfalfa.
I'm afraid I'm not familiar with those.
I'll throw together my special mix for you.
Fine, fine. Where is the rest of the family?
Who knows? Out gallivanting as usual.
And you're here all alone.
Oh, I get used to being lonely. Your family kind of loses interest in you when you're over 50. Sit down, Lowell.
Oh, thank you, Granny.
Call me Daisy.
Daisy, I realize we only met yesterday. This is going to seem awfully sudden.
It might not. Try me.
But I sensed immediately that you and I were birds of a feather, both looking for a little excitement in the autumn of our lives.
I hear you talk.
Are you like me, not afraid to take a chance, to gamble a little?
Heck, fire, Lowell. At our age, every day's a gamble. I figure if I wake up in the morning, I'm a winner.
That's the spirit. Daisy, I have a proposal to make.
Yes, Lowell.
You and I could become partners.
Yes,
Put our fortunes together,
yes,
go up to Las Vegas.
yes. Daddy, let him finish.
Don't tell me you're fraternizing.
Oh, Margaret,
He's been a perfect gentleman.
Daddy comes home at once.
But I was invited to have tea.
We can have tea at home.
Don't let her drag you off like this.
Well, I'm her guest, living under her roof.
Daddy!
We'll continue our discussion later.
Let me call you back, John. My secretary's gone and there's someone in the outer office. Right. Bye.
Oh, hello, Milburn, my boy. How'd you like to play a game of blackjack?
Forget it.
I'll show you the system I'm going to use when I get to Las Vegas.
You can forget that, too, because you're not going to get a dime out of me, not a penny.
Oh, I've got my financing for Las Vegas. Rich widow.
Really?
Yeah, we're forming a partnership.
Good luck.
You don't object?
Why should I? The money isn't in my bank.
Is it? As a matter of fact, it is.
You don't mean Granny.
I call her Daisy. She called me Lord. We can help one for what is. Wait a minute now, please, Milburn. I'm wearing my best suit.
Hi, Mr. Drysdale. Hey, Pa, look, here's Mr. Farquhar.
Where? Mr. Clampett, wait. No violence, please. He's going right back to Boston.
Mr. Farquhar?
Yes, I promise you he will never see Granny again.
Well, that's bad news. I just come over here to tell you how pleased I am about him and Granny.
Pleased?
Pleased as punch. I ain't seen Granny so happy since she left the hill.
But he'll spend Granny's money.
Well, good. She sure ain't spending none of it. Now, if you don't mind, I'd like to see Mr. Farquhar and try to talk him out of going back to Boston.
Oh, me too. And together we can do it. Oh, I'm so glad you like my father-in-law.
Well, for a fact, what's more important, Granny likes him.
Oh, he's a fine old gentleman. Daddy Farquhar, where are you?
Well, he's in there.
Daddy Farquhar. Mr. Clampett is here to see you. Come out, you darling old man.
You're not angry with me, are you, Mr. Clampett?
Shucks, no. I'm just hoping you won't go back to Boston.
Oh, he won't. He won't. Mr. Clampett knows about you and Granny, and he approves.
You bet I do. Now, why don't you come home with me? I know Granny's looking for you.
Yeah, well, Margaret told
Oh,
me.
I'll take care of Margaret. You go with the money. Mr. Clampett.
Come on, Ellie. They've been looking all over for you, Granny.
Mr. Farquhar, come home with us.
He's waiting in the parlor right now.
I think he's going to ask you for your hand.
I'll lay out your courting dress.
I'll entertain Mr. Farquhar.
I'll stir your apple sauce for you.
Just hold everything, everybody. I have decided I ain't gonna marry Mr. Farquhar.
What?
Why not?
Because I've come to my senses, that's why not. I've been acting like a bubble-headed schoolgirl. No demand 24 hours. And I was ready to elope with him to Las Vegas. Shame on me.
Ow! Why'd you hit me?
Because I'm mad and you're handy.
This is going to be an awful blow to Mr. Farquhar. All the way home, he was talking about going to Las Vegas with you.
Yeah, he said with you behind him, there was no limit to what he could do. He should know better himself, a man of his age, letting his head be turned by a pretty face.
Well, maybe you ought to postpone it for a while to get to know each other better.
No, it wouldn't work, Jed. I could never get along with that daughter of his. Spiteful woman.
Ow! Well, you can't just let him sit in the parlor and stew.
Well, I'll go talk. Stir him the sauce, Jethro.
Yes, ma'am.
No, Ellie, it's gonna be hard enough on him as it is. No use busting him up altogether. He's gonna want to leave on that honeymoon tonight. Sure as shooting.
Oh, here you are.
Lowell, let's make this quick and merciful. I know you're all head up to go, but I can't run off to Las Vegas with you.
Oh. Well, then, supposing I go along without you.
Go without me?
I can call you every night and tell you how I'm doing.
Lowell, I don't know how you do things in Boston, but from where I come from, you don't phone in your honeymoon.
Honeymoon?
You didn't ask me to go to Las Vegas just to look at the scenery, did you?
No, but...
Well, then start explaining.
Yes, I guess I'd better. You see, Daisy, the last time I was in Las Vegas, I met up with a lot of bad luck, and I thought maybe that it...
All the dad-blame nerve. Wanting me to put up money for his gambling. Got more cheap than a fat hog.
Granny, how do you take it?
Oh, terrible, Jed. busted his heart. Left him in there crying his eyes out.
Went hard on him, huh?
He's all tore up.
Granny, I think he done the right thing.
Just hope he don't do nothing foolish. He's awful desperate.
I best go check on him.
Oh, Mr. Clambert. I suppose Granny told you what happened?
Yeah, I reckon you're pretty disappointed.
Yes, I surely am. Mr. Clambert, would you like to go to Las Vegas with me?
No?
I'll find someone.
About as desperate as anybody else.